So today we're going to start our new series on true stories. Last week we kind of kicked it off with some pretty crazy true stories. We played a game called True or False. Today we're going to play another game. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a marker. Pause the video, go grab that, and come on back. All right, welcome back. So today's game is I want you guys to close your eyes and draw on your paper what I tell you to. Okay? Are you ready for this? You ready? Okay. All right. Okay, no cheating. You have to keep your eyes closed, okay? All right. The first thing, close your eyes. The first thing I want you to draw is a sun. Close your eyes. And you have to keep your eyes closed the entire time. Okay, if you are done with the sun, I want you to draw some binoculars. And for those of you that may not know what binoculars are, they're like little circular glasses that magnifies things so you can see them better. All right, now, do you want to, or I need you to draw, I want you to draw a bicycle. That's kind of hard. Now remember, a bicycle has two wheels and some handlebars and normally has a seat. Are you keeping your eyes closed or are you cheating?
My eyes are closed.
Okay. Last but not least, I want you to draw a tree.
I feel like I just rode on my bicycle.
You might have, you might not have. Okay, all right, you want to show everybody what you drew?
No.
You want to open your eyes? Let's see how amazing these pictures are.
And mine is not bad.
Delilah did pretty good. She's got a sun, a tree, binoculars, and a bike. That's pretty good. I feel like you were cheating. Like, there's no way that looks really good. And then here's Max. He's got a sun, binoculars. Oh, his bike ran into a tree, which is probably what would happen if you had your eyes closed. These are all things that you would take on a hike or see on a road maybe, perhaps, if you were walking. And that is what our story is about today. It starts off with a man on a special mission. So this week's true story comes from Acts chapter 9, verses 1 through 22. And before we dive into the story, I want to give you a little bit of history. So where we left off at Easter was that Jesus was resurrected. Then he walked the earth for 40 days where he performed miracles. He showed himself to 500 people at a time. This started a movement called The Way. Nowadays, today, we call it Christianity, but this is where Christianity kind of got kicked off and started. People that followed Jesus were a part of this movement called The Way. There was a man named Saul who hated Jesus followers, anything to do with The Way, and he made it his life's mission to hunt those people down and to put them in jail, to torture them, and to sometimes even kill them. And so Saul had heard that there were Jesus followers in a town called Damascus. So he takes a couple of big dudes, and he's got his crew, and he is walking down the road hiking to Damascus, when all of a sudden a bright light shows. It is so bright that Saul can't see it. It even knocks him back a little bit. And he hears a voice that says, "Saul, why do you want to hurt me?" And Saul says, "Well, who is this?" And Jesus says, "It is I, Jesus. Now get up and go to Damascus." Well, the guys that he brought with him had heard the voice, but they didn't see anyone. So they're helping Saul up. Saul opens his eyes only to find that He can't see. He's blind. So his crew, his guys, continue to Damascus. They take Saul with them. They find him a room. And as you can imagine, Saul's pretty upset. He stops eating. He stops drinking. He's I would imagine, probably pretty confused about what had just happened. And in those he was blind for 3 days. And within those 3 days, he has a dream where a man named Ananias comes and puts his hands on Saul's eyes and basically cures him, performs a miracle. And then Saul goes on to be a Jesus follower. Well, this man Ananias was actually in Damascus, and Jesus shows himself to Ananias and says, "A man named Saul is here in town. I want you to seek him out, and I want you to perform a miracle in my name. I want you to lay your hands on his eyes and cure him of his blindness, and he will become one of my greatest followers." Well, Ananias is like, "No way, Jose, not doing it." Ananias knew about Saul, and he even said to Jesus, he's like, "I know what he does to people like me. He will hurt me. He will imprison me. He will hurt and the people that I love. No way am I going to go find this guy and cure him." But Jesus says, "You need to go." And Ananias, being, of course, the great Jesus follower that he is, went and found Saul. He tells Saul, "I am here because Jesus has sent me. He has told me to lay my hands on your eyes, and in his name you will be cured, and you will start to follow Jesus." Well, I'm sure Saul is thinking, "Yeah, sure. Let's see." I mean, he's not going to turn this guy down. It's not going to hurt anything. But I'm sure he's doubting this the entire time. Like, we'll just see if that's what really happens here. Anyways, Ananias puts his hands on Saul's eyes and says, "In the name of the Lord Jesus, I cure you. And you are now a follower of Jesus. Go and tell everyone of his name." Ananias pulls his hands away from Saul, and Saul opens his eyes and he can see. Well, this is life-changing for Saul, to the point where he changes his name. His heart has been changed, not only his heart, but his whole personality and who he thought he was, and what his purpose was has changed. So he changes his name from Saul to Paul. He now has a new purpose. He goes on to be one of Jesus's most amazing followers. He goes on 3 mission trips. He preaches to many people. He starts many churches, and even writes letters, which is part of one of the books in the Bible. So it's a pretty amazing but true story. So I'm going to leave you with 2 questions that I want you to think about over this next week. One is, what has God done in your life to change you? And what work is God doing in you now? So think about those things. Talk to an adult in your household. If you don't understand those questions, maybe ask them to clarify it for you. But right now, this month, our song for this month is "You Are Good" by Hillsong Kids. Friends, jump on up and join us for a dance party.
Reach out, go tell the world about his love, so every ear will hear and every eye will see. One generation to the next, we'll praise his name and we'll declare, you are mighty above all, my God. I don't wanna just sit around and be another face in the crowd. time in history.